I'm Ethan Arcee, D1 track and field athlete, Mount St. Mary's University, from New Jersey. I'm a middle distance guy, 400 hurdles. Might be starting the 800 next year. Have to see about that, but yeah,
All right. And tell them how we met.
it's crazy. So Donald Literal, our mutual friend, I had
Mhm.
met him. It starts with him because I met him at the track. I was going to do a workout, and we just happened to both be at the track doing a workout together. And so Donald and I ended up becoming friends or whatever. And then through Donald, I met you, and we became friends. And I at the time I was living in a hotel because of COVID, and then we ended up just coming across paths where I needed to move out of the hotel because it was just too much in
All
my
right.
car, and you had an open room, and we had a room together and kind of worked out really good.
Yeah, and it all went off from there.
Yeah,
Dude, tell them about tell them about the hotel situation. That was crazy. Like
oh,
let them know how
it's crazy.
let them know how kind of like track D1 track was during like our indoor like during what was supposed to be like the majority of like our off season into like preseason
Yeah,
and indoor.
so I was supposed to live on campus at the start, and then I got an email from the school and our head coach Jay Phillips that the sophomores and juniors, majority of the sophomores and juniors, needed to go live at Gettysburg Hotel, which is about 25 minutes away. And we needed cars because they didn't really have a shuttle. Um, and I basically had to drive back and forth 25 minutes a day, the 25 minutes back and forth to and from school. And so what I would do is basically as if I was in high school, where I went to high school 30 minutes away, where I would just pack all my clothing and everything. I would
Mhm.
go to school, go to my classes, I'd get there at 7:30 in the morning, have my breakfast or whatever, go to classes, change in my car, and then go to practice at 3:30, and then go to the library right after practice and be there till about 7:30, 8 o'clock, and then head back to the hotel. So I was honestly only at the hotel to sleep, but
Right.
yeah, it was tough because you don't really have like a stability. It's really not a stability option, and it was just a lot on me mentally and physically because I'm driving back and forth. I'm not, I'm in a hotel. I'm not getting the best of sleep in a hotel. Um,
Right.
and it just wasn't, I was kind of
They're,
restricting
they're
myself.
interesting. They're
Yeah. And I
interesting.
was like, I had to restrict myself with like food and all that stuff because I didn't really have too many options. I could only really eat at school because the options they were giving us at the hotel were just not the, not the best
Bruh. And
options.
when I tell you like this was like I went to go pick him up when he was moving in. Me and Donald, we went to go pick you up in the hotel. And there was like this big cannon in the lobby or
Yeah,
whatever. I
it,
was
it
like,
was it
bro,
was a
what is
really outdated. It was an outdated hotel. It was just all over the place, and I just couldn't do it anymore. And I just they gave
yeah.
me an opening to move back, and it's been
Yeah. I had to bless him. I was like, bro, you getting I
it
was
was
like, you
really
can't
it was really a
I was like,
blessing.
I remember because we were about to go work out and I was like, bro, like, where are you like staying? You were like, bro, I have to go all the way like to Gettysburg because we were in Emmitsburg. We
Yep.
went to Mount St. Louis.
Yeah. So like the crazy thing is like technically, according to that document we have to fill out every day about like our COVID form, I have to say if I've been out of the state in the past 14 days.
Yeah.
We go to school in
Yeah.
Maryland. The hotels in Pennsylvania. What do I put for that?
We're
That's
like on the border of Maryland and Pennsylvania.
exactly. Yeah, literally, we could go. I could go for a run to Pennsylvania if I really
Yeah,
wanted to.
exactly.
But
Okay.
yeah,
Yeah,
it,
yeah.
it was hectic. It was crazy, and being able to move back to campus, it's been such a blessing because I've been able to just be on campus. I don't have to rush myself. My academics, they skyrocketed so much better, um,
Right.
and everything, and it went really well.
Mm-hmm. Yo, tell me about basically like tell me. So I want to get into like recruiting and stuff, and I want to let like athletes and stuff know how that is and how what to do. But first, I want to know like tell me your story. Like I already know it, but tell tell like people your story and like how you started with track, how that went through, like if that was middle school, high school, and then recruitment like into college. Well, don't cover
Yeah.
the recruitment part as heavy now because I want to get into that next, but just tell like your story with track.
Yeah, so it's a crazy story. So I've played every sport basically in the book, from baseball, basketball, soccer, football, even fencing literally for 6 months. My
Yeah.
parents put me in fencing. It's crazy. And track was just never one of those sports. It was crazy. I was always a fast kid. Like when it came to like
Hmm.
tryouts in baseball, I was always the one winning, home plate to first, or the 40-yard dash in football, all that stuff. But track was just never a sport that, like, in other states, a lot of these states have like club track. In Jersey, we don't,
Right.
in New
Yeah.
Jersey, we don't
I
have
feel
that.
like it's
We don't
felt the
have that
same
at
way.
all. So it was like, so that just never crossed my mind. And then my dad had played football in high school, and he was supposed to play D1 football at Delaware Valley, and he got injured his last game of high school, tore every ligament in his leg, all the L's, the ACL, MCL, all that stuff, and never got the chance to play, college sports. So it was kind of like my personal thing to be like, all right, I want to play sports in college to be able to live that on, and also just for myself, because being that I live, eat, breathe sports.
Right.
So going into freshman year of high school, um, I went to an all guys school, Christian Brothers Academy, and we didn't have football, so that was out of the question. Um, so in the fall, I did like flag football. That we had like a little intramural thing, flag football. So I did that, and the goal was to try out for baseball or lacrosse because I played those for my entire life or whatever. And my dad one day was just like, what, you ever thought about track? Like, maybe to just get like track and field. I was like, I don't know what that is. I only know from like the Olympics watching Usain Bolt.
Yeah. Yeah.
Every
That's how.
every normal person, that's all they know about track is Usain Bolt.
Yeah. Usain Bolt. That's it. Yeah.
Exactly. So it was like, I mean, I'll look into it, get me in shape for baseball, whatever. I'm sure I know some guys, some of my friends that are going to try out for the team going into it. And so I signed up, tried out. They told me, I just kind of went through the motions, not having a clue what anything was. I was told that by one of the kids that a 60-second 400 is really good. And I was like, okay, sounds fine. Well, knowing now that it's horrible, but
Yeah. That's
for a guy, it's not good. And so I went through it, had an amazing indoor, won state championships as a freshman. It was really good. And I was like, you know what, I really love indoor track, but this was to get me in shape for baseball and lacrosse. And I had to choose in between that to begin with. So I chose to try out for baseball and didn't make the team. And I was like, I guess I know there's indoor and outdoor. So I'll just text my coach and be like, hey, do you have an opening that I can just run outdoor track? And he was like, yeah, we'll love to have you come back. And I stuck with it, and won states every single year. We, countless meets, countless memories. Like it was, and it's been a sport that I never, before freshman year of high school, had no clue what it
bro.
was, and now
Facts.
that's the sport that got me into college, and
Bro, yeah, that's the crazy. That's
it's
the
crazy.
craziest thing. It's
It's
because like
literally
it was similar like that for me, but it was even later for me because it's like I remember I told you like I was playing basketball.
yeah,
I was pretty like growing up like I had played a lot of sports when I was younger and stuff, but like towards like in the middle school, high school, I was just like set on like hoop. Like I had hoop dreams, bro. Like I was
right,
dead set on basketball. Um, I do like summer camps and stuff where I try other things, but it was really that. And I'd always been fast. It's like somebody like I'd always been a fast kid. People always, oh, you were fast. Even when I was chubby or when I was little, I
right.
was still fat. Be a little fat boy on wheels. But like I got into high school. My mom was always on me. She was like, "You need to try something else, like this and that." Because like I don't basketball, just like it was like I wasn't bad at it. Like I was good, but I just wasn't really getting the opportunities in
Right.
it. And I felt like I don't know, like it was something about it, and I just never felt like I was like really reaching my potential with it. I don't know.
Yeah.
And it was just too much of like coaching and stuff, and I felt like it was so many factors other than just practicing and working on your craft. There's more into it, and I didn't.
Yeah.
The whole team sport thing was difficult for me at the time, but then like I didn't really listen to her until senior year because my senior year I was like, you know what, screw it, I'm gonna go different this year. like I don't know, I was kind of like feeling a little different that year mentally too, like more comfortable with myself and stuff. So I did cross country. Um, did that, you know, had a pretty, I was solid. Like, I mean, for me, I ran like a 5:59
Right.
mile. For me, that was cool. You know,
Yeah.
I was bigger. Like, um, you know, we went there. It was fun because just it was a different feel. Like, I don't know, it's something about like track and just running where it's like, you know, that you just feel you're outside, like it's free. Like, not everybody's like trying to like undermine the next dude and like really like everybody's, you know, it's everybody's more like more helpful, and it's a loose vibe. Like, it's a very loose vibe.
Right.
It's not too hectic there. You know, you rarely
Yeah.
are getting screamed at on the track.
Yep.
And ended up doing, you know, I only did outdoor track in high school. I did one season of outdoor track my whole entire high school career.
Yep.
Crazy. And I I ran, you know, I ran 100, 200, and 4x1 and broke a couple of school records and stuff. We got third, I believe, at, you know, like we got third, I believe, in our state meet for our division. And
Hmm.
then like I was just like I got like real into it. I started looking up things about it, and I was like, yeah, I'm
Right.
dead on this. I had the times already to be able to like go to a college, right? And I started contacting schools, but the thing was like it was real late. I was new to it, so it was hard for me to contact a lot of schools that are better. So I was like, you know what?
Yeah.
You know, like I was like, I really want to do this and I can do this. So I'm going to like I'm gonna try to go to like a smaller school. And that moves into talk to me about, you know, your recruiting process, and I'll talk a little bit about mine. And then I have a two recruiting process actually, but
Yeah, you do.
you know, yeah, but
But yeah,
we'll
so
go
like
into
my recruiting process, it's it's interesting because everyone's always talked about how like with football, basketball, like you can make videos and send like these huddles and all that stuff and send them to programs and all these websites, these companies that you could sign up and they'll help you with your recruiting process. I didn't go through any of that. I literally sat down, look up the program, look up the school. First off, it was me. It was mainly like, okay, what schools are academically good for me, and do they have a
it.
track and field program? And
Yeah,
so
that's the
like,
same thing. I
yeah, so like
Yeah.
I looked at a bunch of schools: St. Joe's in Philly, Mount St.
Mhm.
Mary's, Providence, University of Rhode Island, Bucknell, a lot just in the area. And I just sat there and I just emailed the coaches, and I just try to get first started off. Like, I was always told that you want to start off with your academics first when you're sending out an email to a coach introducing yourself. Send out your academics unless you're a national champion type of deal. And like if you're going
Yeah.
to like
Yeah.
a University of
Oh,
Florida, USC type of deal, just start with your academics
mm-hmm.
because they want someone who they know is a student first when it comes to student athlete. So I did that, emailed a bunch of coaches. Some didn't respond, some did. And to those who didn't respond first right away, I just continued to nag them until they responded. Some of them
Mm-hmm.
didn't, just because they suck with emails, or they just
That's
had already
fair.
their program was already full. But it's
Mm-hmm.
you don't know unless you keep trying. So
Exactly.
you want to be as persistent as you can, because it also shows the coach by being as persistent as possible that you have an interest and that it's not like a
Yeah.
one-time
And
deal.
at least give you a shot, you know? At least give you a shot.
Exactly. So I just continued to email, and with some schools, it was really kind of went down to three schools. It was really between University of Rhode Island, four schools: University of Rhode Island, St. Joe's, Bucknell, and here. And then it just came down to like financial stuff, meeting with the coaches in person, meeting with the team. How you want to see that dynamic with your team. Like, is it a team that you feel like you can grow with? It's not just you're just there, you run, you go back to your room and call it a day. Like, how like we have the team here.
Yeah.
You're able to grow friendships. You're able to grow personally, inside and outside, like off on and off the track, inside and outside the classroom. And that's where I really found a place here at Mount St. Mary's, because that really helped out um, my growth so much in so many different ways. And so yeah, it was really, I kind of did everything myself when it came to recruiting. Not even my coach helped, because he was focusing because my high school was a distance school, so he was all focused on the distance guys, and us sprinters. If we wanted to go, we would have to do it ourselves. And me being the only
Figure
sprinter,
it out. Yeah.
yeah, me being the only sprinter that went D1 for my school during my senior year, it was like I kind of just had to do everything myself. And if you
Yeah.
really wanted, you just got to chase it. That's really that's really what it comes down to.
100%. Yeah, exactly. I feel like, yeah, it was mine was like it was a lot. Like I sometimes I think about, man, if I tried to like recreate that process, I don't know if I could do it again. Like I don't know if I could like I don't think I could write that up. Like I could never predict how it went. So like I had my outdoor season, right? I emailed a little bit. I was really just trying to email schools to get to play sport any of the three sports I played my senior year.
Right.
I had like barely little to none like basketball film. I wasn't playing that much my senior year, so I barely had any film. Uh, Cross country, obviously we didn't have no film, and like there are like we didn't have that sophisticated. I mean, there's definitely meets that do get recorded, but not in our league. It wasn't.
Right.
And especially not our area. We had a solid team that year though. So a couple of schools were like, yeah, like prefer walking on type of things, and then I started emailing schools for track, and it got really down to the wire. I remember it was like the last week of possible commitment. You know how they had like the commitment deadlines
Yeah.
and stuff like, if I wanted to sign. So they take me out of class. I'm sitting in the guidance office. They're writing me up. One of my teammates, his name was Michael Haley. He was helping me like write up like, pros cons type of list. And,
Right.
I didn't expect him to do that. So it was like, he's helping me. And then I have my guidance counselor, my coach trying to help me. But my track coach, like, I won't skip that. So like, I'm writing all them things now, right? So I'm calling schools, emailing them, like really trying to get it out. And then I got recruited by one school for track. Like and I can't blame schools saying like, oh, like I was really under the radar. They
Yeah.
were
You
from
really only
they're
just
in
had that one season.
they were in Frederick, so they saw me at a meet. It was Hood College in Frederick,
Mm-hmm.
and they were recruiting me. Like their coach was really going for me to go there, and I met somebody. His name is Evan Ellington, and I met him. And he like took me on a tour and stuff, and I thought I was gonna end up there, but like I just wasn't really trying to be home anymore. The small town, like I wasn't trying to be there anymore. I just wanted any feeling to get out. And I called York College. It's crazy because I was with my friend James. We was on the way to like get like Panda Express or something. We was about to hang. I was like Friday, and then York College. The coach called me. He was like, yeah, like last day possible. He called me. He's like, yeah, man, like we saw your time. We looked at that. Like, we'd be glad. Like, we have a spot for you. We'd be glad to have you on our team. Division III school, York College, Pennsylvania, not far from Mount, like 40 minutes
Right.
probably. Did that. Committed to that school. The process was crazy. That was my first one, and then I guess I'll talk about transferring before we move anywhere else, just because I don't know if we'll come back. Like, I mean, I guess I'll save that for like talking about like your freshman year. Like, how did you feel like freshman year was like pre-COVID part of the freshman year? So
Yeah.
our indoors.
So it was crazy because being that being in college, we've been able to experience both pre-COVID and COVID.
Yeah,
And
COVID, yeah.
so pre-COVID, we came in August. We had a week to ourselves to get acclimated to the school and train on our own at the track.
Yeah.
Practices started. It was the entire team together. It was a lot of like introductions and like understanding the warm up, the stretches, all like the preview stuff to the workouts, and then we got into workouts, and it was a lot of just learning new workouts and learning how to train with these people. Where in high school I might be I was the top guy in the training session, but when it comes to college, I'm the fourth or fifth guy, and it kind of goes back to that freshman year of high school. You restart.
That didn't hit me. That didn't hit me until the Mount. I didn't lose that sense of like not feeling like I wasn't the first guy until my sophomore year of college. Yeah.
Yeah, it was, and so we trained so much, and I learned a lot about myself being at school, not just like just on a personal level, and like what I really wanted out of life, and track,
Mm-hmm.
and
You got a lot of things.
being able to be on my own and also manage academics and athletics and a social life. It was a lot at first, and
Yeah, I want to get into that soon. So I want to like
yeah,
after we get past the whole like telling our story part, I want to get to like how it really is, and then
yeah.
first I'll start with like tips on recruiting and stuff, but then I really want to get into how that is. But yeah, keep
Yeah,
going.
so but like it was pre-code, we're like every other college kid, we're going out on the weekends, but we knew like a lot of us just went out as a team, like we would go out together, but we always knew to just keep each other, together, and to always think like, top teams the top priority. We're trying to win championships and stuff. So we had our indoor season,
Exactly.
and we could probably go further on it later, but I had gotten injured before my first meet, literally the day before our first meet.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And so that was a huge killer because I've been training so much throughout the fall, and I was probably the best shape of my life. And to get
Mm-hmm.
injured, it was a killer.
Yes,
And
definitely.
yeah, so I literally had to go home and go to a trainer. We could talk about that later, but
Yeah.
it's then we had our season, and I was able to get back, and I was running kind of tough because I was still not 100% basically throughout the entire season.
Yeah, and then it's the mental part afterwards too. You're like so
Yeah,
afraid you're
it
gonna
was
do
my
it again.
first it was
Like,
my first ever injury, so it's like I had never
yeah, like you
experienced
remember my
injury
hamstring
before.
injury. Yeah,
Yeah,
you remember the whole process of my hamstring
yeah,
and how it was like
crazy,
those
crazy.
long nights of talking in the dorms about like fuck man, like
It's crazy, man. It's really goes underrated. Um,
mm-hmm.
the mental aspect of injuries. But
Injury.
yeah,
Yeah.
we were able to have our season. We got second at conferences. It was really awesome. Being able to experience going on trips, staying in hotels with your teammates. Even though I might have hated being in a hotel, living there at school, going on trips with teammates
Yeah.
back in freshman year felt
Yeah.
it felt cool to do that, and
Yeah.
it was a really cool experience.
Yeah. That's how it felt. I remember freshman year of college, I got there and with track, it was so different from basketball because basketball, I feel like I struggled a lot with confidence growing up. I just felt like I had this thing of like just feeling like I didn't belong sometimes, and I don't know, it was weird, and I always felt like it was forced. I felt like I wasn't enjoying it. I felt like I was doing it for. I felt like it wasn't fun anymore, and so I get to York. I remember that, and I start like for some reason with track, I just had this like superb like feeling of confidence. Like I knew I was gonna be good. Like I knew I wasn't gonna be there. I was like, I know I can. I know I can go D1. I was like, I know it.
Right.
And with basketball, I was like, oh, I want to go D1 and stuff. But it was like, I don't know how I'm gonna get there. For track, I was like, I know I'm gonna get there. And I think my thing was my senior year of high school. I had so much time by myself. I kind of isolated a lot, especially once I committed. I dropped off like the face of the earth, and I just went crazy, like in the gym and lifting and figuring out not even having the knowledge I do now,
Hmm.
just going hard, just pure, just going hard, just
Right. Yeah.
everything, and training and working on block starts and that type of stuff. And I get to because I think this is what everybody's going to be like. This is the difference between the two divisions, right? I think everybody's going to be a stud.
Yeah.
I get there, I realize that I was already working harder than everybody,
Hmm.
so it gives me this like not even this like type of deep breath, just like this crazy amount of confidence. I was like, man, I work harder than everybody, so there's no way I can be the same. Like
Right.
there's no same as anybody here. I was like, I know I haven't even done nothing yet, but I just feel like I just had like this feeling like I just needed to like I just knew I was going to do something. I was going to do something special, and so I start working out and stuff. I get a little tug on my hamstring on we're doing a 150. I tug my
Yeah.
hamstring a little bit. Yeah, as a sprinter, that's before I started understanding, my body and stuff. That was probably the main source was just that hamstring,
Hmm.
and waited a week, got back, started going crazy in the work. It's just started working hard. The thing about Division 3 was like not everybody is like Division 1. Everybody is, like there's some people who slack off and stuff, but for the most
Yep.
part, everybody was that guy.
Yep.
Everybody has that thing. Everybody kind of, is built a little different. But
Mhm.
at the Division 3 level, man, like some people were just doing it. Like you're not getting money for it, so you're either doing it for the love, and the people who are doing it, they don't feel like they're benefiting them much. So sometimes they're not really in it all the way.
Right.
They're just, there's just a couple of people who are really good. So I just started gravitating towards my teammates, who were really good, and I was trying to learn from them. And I was under, I ran, I ran 100 and 200, as my events and stuff. But I only made it indoor season before COVID hit, so I was running the 60,
The 60, yeah.
and I did the 200 every now and then. But I did a couple fours, but I was mainly a 60 dude. So I start like just basically just trying to like stay towards the people who I felt like were good for me. And first meet was a little shaky, and then I was just basically on them because they were just trying to make me do some like MIDI stuff, and it was just messing my body up. And I said, this is what I'm here for.
Yeah.
Kind of got a little rough patch of that, and then everything just started skyrocketing. Like meets were dropping like 0.3 seconds, like meets like
Yeah.
crazy amounts. Once you when you hit that first, when you start really training properly the first time just starts flying off, and then it slows down a little bit.
It really does.
Yeah, and then I qualified, ran. It ran at conferences, did good in the semis, went to the finals. It was like my first time. It was like my mom saw me run my fastest time, and that was the first time she ever saw me run a track meet. Like it was a special year. Like going out, like I had fun and stuff like that. But I knew I was kind of on a mission when I was at York. I knew,
Yep.
yeah, I enjoy it while I'm here, and I did it and stuff. But
Right.
I
And work
was
your way to that D1 opportunity.
yeah, exactly. And then that obviously that leads me into, put my name in the transfer pool, going through that process and stuff. But yeah, moving into that actually, now I want to talk a little bit. Like, I need to know. I want you to be able to tell people, because you are Division 1 athlete. I feel like a lot of people say how it is as coaches and stuff, but like as a player or as an athlete, how would you explain the recruiting process and talk a little bit about what you think people should actually be doing? Like what would you give if somebody asked you right now, somebody's in high school, he's the same as you, he's a 400 runner, right? He's a hurdler like you, or he maybe he's a sprinter like me. He asked you, I want to compete at the Division 1 level. What should I do? What would you say to him?
Yeah. So first off, it's really for me. It was kind of like, okay, I know I'm good here, but am I good for Division 1? So I started looking at schools, and a lot of schools on their track and field websites have like a recruiting tab to where you can see like, okay, these are the times that we like for our walk-ons, for scholarships, or whatever. So for me, it was like, okay, I see these times, I know these times. This is what I want. This is what I'm going to have to run to be able to. This is what I'm going to have to train myself. I'm going to have to run to be able to at least get onto these teams. So for me, it was like, okay, you got to train yourself, and I got myself to that. But then it's like I had said earlier, is like you got to be diligent about everything. If you want it, you got to chase for it. It's not going to come to you. It's not like
Yeah.
football. It's not like football or basketball where these schools are going to come chasing you, flying out to you to come see you. It's that track and field is just not that sport. But you really just got to you really just got to push it.
Yeah.
And you really just got to, it's really reaching out on your own, doing your work. Don't wait for other people to do it, because there's going to be kids like me who was like diligently reaching out to coaches, and we're going to be the ones to take that spot if you keep sitting back, relax, and waiting for them to come to you, because they're not. You have to go out to them. You have to put your name out there. Track and field's that sport where like I said, you don't got the videos unless you're at a meet where they got it. You got to be able to send out your times, you send out your academics, and push and push and push, because that'll get them you on their radar and get them interested on you. And that's a huge difference maker. But you really have to be steady with your times, but you always want to be increasing. You never want to have like, you go 55, 52, 51 to then 54. You want to be able to.
It's a red flag.
Right. Like me, my freshman year, I ran 57. Sophomore year went down to 54. Junior year went down to 52. And then senior year, I was consistently at 50 in the 400. And then 400 hurdles, I didn't start till senior year, but I ran 57 in the 400 hurdles. I did long jump where I did 21 in long jump. I only really did 4x2 relays, but I was splitting 22.5. But you want to be, I would say, if you want to be a Division I track runner, you want to be under 51. If you're under 51, that is, that's like you're setting yourself off to a good start.
Mhm.
Just in a basic
I'd
form.
say for my events, I'd say 100 under 11. I'd say under 11.2, 11.2 to like 11.1, 11 area. That'll get you like D2, D3. I say if you really want to like assure yourself into like a low major to high majors, I just say like 10.8 and under in the 100. And for the two, well, like under like I'd say the 22s, the
Yeah, you want
22s,
you
like
want 22s. If you want a high major, you're gonna have to be in the
yeah,
21s, the 20s.
21. Yeah.
Because
And yeah,
that's just the level you're at. You're going
yeah,
to the
it's
SEC, you're
ridiculous.
going to Georgia, you're going to
Yeah.
Tennessee. These kids, they got international kids. They got kids from Jamaica that are
Oh my God, yeah.
they're
And that's the thing
traveling like
about
crazy.
track. It's a plus and a minus. Like it's a positive and a negative. That for track, it's not like football. It's not like, oh, like he's good, but like what's his current team situation? Can he play schemes? Like, can he play in this game plan? Like, like is he like, track is like, bro, when you're getting recruited for colleges, when in the college level, I'm not gonna say like, like the adjustment to a pro or anything, because that's more like technical and the small things. But in high school, it's, bro, are you fast? Are you not? Because the time, like,
That's exactly what
you can't
you can't. The times don't lie.
in basketball, you can like finesse, you can be pretty, like you can have handles, you can dunk on people a lot. But in track, it doesn't lie. You're either fast or you're slow. And if you're slow and it's gonna show, because you're gonna lose. And if you're fast, you're gonna excel. And like people find you like in track, I can show you my times, right? Like if I show you my times and I'm fast, you're gonna know I'm fast. And it's that
Exactly.
simple. So it's
Yep.
simple, but in a way too, there's a lot of fast people. There's a lot of fast people in the world. So, you have to excel even more,
Yep.
because there's gonna be all the time.
Yeah, it's crazy. It really is.
Next I'd say like the COVID impact. Like, damn, like that's probably like that's the hardest thing for me, because I guess it switched my life to have to do the things the way I do now. But that COVID impact, it changed my whole entire life. It changed me, like I can't say anything because I don't know if I would have been like, I don't know if I would have ended up like meeting you and going to the mountain stuff if it wasn't for COVID. Like,
Yeah.
I had my list of schools and I had places I want to be, but then COVID came and I was like, man, like I got to figure this out. And it definitely made things the way things happened to me at the end of last year and stuff. But like, tell me the impact for COVID for you.
Yeah. So we were riding high on our indoor season of getting second at conferences. We had, we knew who we had going in, like at least the field events that weren't involved in indoor that can get its points. And we were projected number one going into outdoor. We were like, we're gonna get a ring this year. We're gonna bring home another championships to the school. We were riding high on that, and then COVID hit, and at first it's like, oh, it's just it's some random disease, that we have.
Yeah, some
That it is what it is what
everybody.
it is, right?
It'll pass in 2 weeks. Everybody kept saying it.
Exactly.
Like it's
Yeah.
like it's
So we're literally about maybe 5 days out of our first meet at Coastal, and we get a message from our coach, and he see cancel season. That's it, cancel
yeah.
season. And we're like, whoa, what the heck? Like, we can't even have a season, but like we're gonna be in school, but we
Yeah.
can't have a season. Then the next
Yeah.
day, school's canceled. Everyone's got to
Bro,
move out.
it happened so fast.
It
I remember
happened.
where I was. I
Yeah.
still remember I finished up running indoor. I was feeling good about myself. I just established myself. I'm the guy on our team now for short distance. I'm that guy now. At York, I was like, I got a whole nother outdoor season, man. I'm about to get all these times. Like, all these schools are going to want to look at me. Like I was already starting to contact schools. I was like, man, if schools are liking me now, like wait till they see my 100, wait till they see my 2 outdoor. Like, because the 2 outdoor and the 2 indoor, we both know is different. The
Yeah.
2 indoor,
100%. Yeah.
the 2 indoor it's and depending on what lane you are in, it's just not a different. And your ankles, your butt, legs, like
yeah.
But anyways, like I was like, yeah, man, like I'm about to go crazy. So like always what I do is like it's just something I mean, I'm from the West Coast. I like warm. Like I like warmth, right? So
Yeah.
I wanted to go somewhere warm and like kind of like just mentally get away for a bit. So, my friends, they go to coast, he went to coastal, and I have a lot of friends who went there. So I was like, like we're good for 2 weeks. I'm gonna go to coastal for 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
And because it was our, they had spring break right after
Yep.
our end. It was indoor and then right into spring break, which was
Yep.
perfect. So I left the day we got back. I forget what school. I'm trying to remember what school we had indoors at. It's this nice school. It's this D3 school. I can't remember the name of it. I'm gonna try to actually let me try to I don't even know my phone. Let me try to find it. I'm trying to remember it. Hold up. Let me look up. Um
But yeah, it was crazy how everything just worked. Like
I can't
it was
I can't
literally
remember the
like
name.
split. It was like split second that
Yeah.
our lives were changing by
Yeah.
the second. We didn't know what the heck
Mm-hmm.
was going on. We thought maybe they canceled it for now, but then in a month we'll come back and we'll be able to have a
Yeah, that we were
shortened season, and we
yeah.
just
I
stayed
remember
home.
yeah. I remember I went to Coastal and I took 2 weeks, I had fun. Yeah, but I was training. I met my girlfriend, right? I was training at the track. Like I was there every day. I was at the track. It was warm, man. It's like, like the vibe was great. Like I was like riding off that good feeling and, performing well and, being that guy now. And, I was thinking about the next move I wanted to make and stuff, but I didn't really think I had a whole outdoor season. I didn't want to focus
Right.
on leaving. I just found my outdoor season, right? And
Yeah.
then I get back. First couple of days we're training. We train one day. I just went in to get like work done on my body. I got cupping and stuff. I did like contrast icing, and then the next day we start training again, getting ready for outdoor season. Right, we're out there. Everybody's feeling pretty good. People are in shape. I feel like I'm in the best shape of my life. And literally, our coach peeks over the gate and he's like, because COVID's like, I guess it's starting to talk. I can't remember exactly, but it was in talks. But they were like I can't even remember what conference it was. It's crazy, but they were like, the conference is telling us to shut down our like we have to shut it down. Like we can't practice. We're like, just today, or no? They were like, we're done right now. We were confused. We were like, what do you mean? And like next day, everything happened so fast. And then it's like,
Yep.
pack your stuff up. First, we were like, the season's done, so we're sad. We have to clear the stuff out the locker rooms and stuff like that. Then immediately they're like, school is done. So
Yep.
then we have to go home and we're taking online classes and everybody's just
Crazy.
like stealing up as they can. And I'm just trying to figure out like how to like adapt to everything. And
Yeah.
then that's when it led into like, I was like, I gotta go now. Like I gotta get out of here because like I don't want to be here another year. Like
Right.
I
Yeah.
gotta now I got the times I had indoor season and I got to start, making plays. So yeah,
Yeah,
it's
that worked, and lucky enough, you were able to find at least a home for the time
yeah,
in the mount, and
hmm
it,
yeah,
it it worked out at least for ball
exactly.
wise. It worked out pretty well.
Yeah, it did, but it was just COVID messed it up again, man. Like I was like, man, like hopefully we get this season because like this season will like secure me to be able to stay here. Hopefully get
Right.
some money and stuff, and it was
Burn out
complicated and
now.
stuff. Yeah, and but I mean, COVID, like even when we were there, man, like COVID still had it up. Like we couldn't use we had a team. I don't know how much I'm supposed to say because I know he likes to keep everything private with that. But we have like a room for the team, a track room, and we couldn't use it. A
Yep.
lot of the like facilities were shut down. Like we were at like a
We
certain
were very we
capacity.
were very we were very restricted.
Yeah, there could only be five. I think there could only be five. We shared. It was our training room was we had our own training room and we shared it with I think rugby or something. Yeah, it
Yeah,
was track and rugby.
for
Only
our
like five people can be in there, and so you had time slots for everything to get working on our own at the gym. Like in the off season, me and Ethan would go lift in them. Like we would go lift like right after we woke up. Like after classes and stuff, we'd have to like find time slots to put our name in and make sure that we got it the day before because everybody was trying to get in. And if you
yeah.
missed it, like we'd have to be like, well, bro, like, what do we do? And
It's crazy.
it was
It
complicated.
was
And
really
then
crazy.
capacity on the track. Dude, let's talk about the dude, how we had to like adjust into practices because that was crazy.
Yeah.
Like
It,
our
it,
whole the code, like you know what I'm talking about, right? Like how we had to like start like phases into our practices.
Yeah, it was crazy how, like, for at least for practicing, you had to fill out a COVID form.
Hmm.
You had to make sure you had to wear a mask outside
Every
of the
day.
track, but as soon as you stepped in the track, you didn't have to wear one. It
Yeah.
was like weird rules.
Tape where our bags had be,
Yeah, they
tape
had
where we
everyone. There was like a little tape thing
yeah,
spread out 6 feet around the
if we're
track.
running 200 meters, we have to stand here. If we're running 150 meters, we have to stand here. If we're running 100, we have to stand here. If we're doing flies here, if you're in the
Yeah,
infield, they crazy
yeah,
like
it's
us.
crazy, and at least since we've been able to understand COVID more and more, we've had to do that less and
Yeah.
less.
Hmm.
Um,
Hmm.
but at first, it was we had 5 different groups doing workouts all at the same time at different locations on the track at
Yeah.
different starting
Just
points, and it was just really all over the place. And
and just being able to trust that nobody was going to get everybody sick and that everybody was like behaving on the weekends and they were always checking in on us
yep,
to make sure that we were in and just like really kind of just realizing like the circumstances and if somebody spiked it was like the team was on lockdown.
yep.
um
There had
and
been teams that had to send their entire team home for 2 weeks
oh my
because
god, yeah,
one
yeah,
outbreak.
that was yeah, crazy stuff. And
Yeah, it was crazy.
I remember we were having a like a surprise like test and just like we had to get our temperature taken before every practice before you came to the track. We had to get our temperature taken every
Yeah,
morning, fill out a survey, like on how we felt, and then we had to fill out the school survey and our athletic survey and get our
yeah.
temperature taken.
Which
It
we
was a
still
lot to
have
do.
to do. Which we still have to do to this day.
Yeah.
It's
Hmm.
at this point
It's
it's just become like another morning routine.
another thing to
Deal.
add on to the yeah, it
Yeah.
became like that towards the end of this semester. It was like, oh, did you fill anything out today? Yeah, like everybody was like, yeah.
Yeah, you had to.
Um,
If you didn't fill out those forms, you couldn't practice. So
yeah, it was really yeah. You could show up and you would not be able to practice because they were
yeah,
not trying to get canceled.
yeah, it was crazy. It was
All right.
crazy.
Mm-hmm. And next, I want to talk a little bit about talk about like the injuries. I know you really haven't been that injured. This has been a really healthy year for you, which is good. Um, but last year you got injured. And if you've had any injuries that have kind of changed you as an athlete, and especially that last injury, I know
Yeah.
it was a lot for you. So just tell me about like the process of like tell me about the physical part of the injury, the mental part of the injury, and also coming back.
Yeah. So I was blessed to have never gotten injured. No strained hamstring, no strained calf, no broken
Uh,
bone, literally nothing up until the day before our first meet freshman year of college. And we were doing these sprinting strides where it was like you turn it on 70%. It was 150-meter strides, or you go 70% for the first 50, 80% for the second, and 90% for that last 50 meters. And I'd done the first two perfectly fine, no issues whatsoever. That
against the
last one,
last,
turning it over from 80 to 90%, I felt a Charlie horse in my hamstring, on the right side of my hamstring. And I was like, oh God, oh God, oh no. That I felt like I heard like a popping sound. And I was like, what the freak was that? It was hurting like crazy. And I was like, oh, maybe I'm just cramping up. Maybe I didn't drink enough water today or whatever. And I'll just get it, I'll go to the trainer real quick and I'll get that fixed up.
mm-hmm.
And go to the trainer and he massages me out, do scraping, do literally everything in the books. And I was still feeling like I had a Charlie horse. It was like a continuous Charlie horse in there.
Yeah,
And
that's that strength.
it hurt to walk. It hurt everything. And I was like, I got a race tomorrow. Like, I got, like, can we get ready for this week? And he's like, no, like, you got to shut it down for at least 2 weeks. And I was like, that's it. Like, I'm not running my first meet. And then we go into winter break. So I had a personal friend at home whose dad happened to be whose dad was a chiropractor, and he had his own massage. He had like a massage guy who, praise to him, he's done wonders for me. And
Yeah,
so over winter break, 3 times a week, I went to to the chiropractor. He worked on, and he had his massage guy work on my hamstring, different things, whether it be massaging it out using a massage gun, or I forget what it's called, but it's like the stimulation on my hamstrings, just doing everything we can. And he got it to at
stem.
least, yeah, it got it to like 85, 90%. I was like, all right, I go back to school, fix it out a little bit more just to get me good enough to be able to race. And I was like, all right. So it was always a continuous thing in the back of my mind mentally that I was like, going into my first race again. It was like, all right, let's not get injured before the race. Thank God I didn't. And it was like always in the back of my head racing. I was like, am I going to be in the middle of my race going 100%? And bam, it's going to pop on me again.
Yeah, man. It's like you remember that initial feeling. Like that's how like you remember that feeling of it popping, and then you just keep playing it back in your head. And you're like, you never can kick to like 100 until you like get over that part mentally. It's probably the hardest part. You're like, okay, you're physically fine, but your mind let you be physically fine because you're always thinking you're like 85%. You don't feel like even when you're like their trainers and telling you you're 100%, you're like, no, I don't know if I'm 100%. I don't know if I'm 100%. Like,
yeah, it was a lot, and it kind of just it was always sitting in the back of my mind, and it kind of screwed me when it came to running races because I was running slower because I always had that fear in the back of my mind. And I was never really 100% up until I went home. When I went home for COVID, he stayed open for like a select few people that had their reasons to be there, and he allowed me to come in and get my massage therapy in. And I got it back to 100% really strong over the summer. Started doing a lot more training, getting a lot stronger, hitting the gym. And getting my correct diet, making sure I'm stretching a lot, for me to be able to get back to 100%. And, going back into this season, when we started in the fall, one of our first few workouts was that 150 thing where we went 70, 80, 90. And I was like, oh God, here we go again. This is the fear that's like, it's going to happen again next year. And it didn't. And I felt very strong. And I was like, and that's when it all went away. I was like, I don't have that
exactly. Once you break that like initial, like I did it, you're like, I'm good now. Like,
yeah, I'm good.
For me,
I had probably my best fall training I've ever had. I was really strong throughout the entire fall. Even now, even though we haven't been able to have a season, it flipped. And
like all that being scared and not confident and holding back, it completely like takes a ship, and it's super confident. You're like, I did this. Like I'm here. Like I'm back. Like, and you're just hungry because you realize that you can lose it all in like a sense, like in a sense, in apparent. I mean, regardless the severity of the injury, if it takes you out, you're like, man, I can lose this again. Like you realize you love it, and
like it really gives you an appreciation of the sport and of your body, and makes you really think deep and hard about make sure you maintain your body's health, because because if you can't maintain your body's health, you won't be able to compete, and you'll lose it like that. And
and like it's crazy.
And to be able to then this season in the fall and into the winter when we didn't have our season, just be able to train and get stronger in the gym. And I'm crazy. It's crazy how even in COVID, when my resources are less and less, and I'm training in my room at school with resistance bands, doing push-ups off my bed just because I can't access the gym. I'm physically stronger than I've ever been. We start competing in a week and a half. Season's going on as planned. There's been a little bit of changes to what meets we go to, but
we'll wrap up with that. That's the last thing.
Yeah, but it's I'm feeling very strong, and it's been a blessing that I've been able to at least maintain myself. When I went home for winter break this past year, I went back to him just to make sure that my legs are always being taken care of, because that's our saving grace in this sport. I just went really.
I remember you telling me about it. I even thought about it.
And it's crazy how like ever since that injury, my squats, everything when it comes to like strengthening up my legs have been crazier than it's ever been. I've been stronger than I've ever been. I've been PRing in my squats like never before. And it's been really good.
It gives you a sense of appreciation. It kind of makes you, it's like going through something like that, it like kicks it in, and then you start taking it a little more serious because you realize like you're not invincible. And like you never think it'll be you until it happens. And for me, it was like freshman year. I had after my first meet I didn't decel right. I just like I should have on the. I mean, I was like, I guess somebody was like, it was things in the way. I don't know why they let this happen, but after our 60, there wasn't enough space to go straight. And usually, at the end of our 60, we're going so fast for so short, it's hard for us to stop. So we usually go into a wall or something, or it
Yeah.
goes up or something at the end, right? But for this one, for all the 60s, I've been going straight, and I just keep going straight, and then I stop because there'll be space or there'll be something to jump into. But for this one, it was a wall at the end. And oh, and by the way, our conferences were at CNU. I just remembered that. But yeah,
Okay.
this was our first meet, and I had a little bit of trouble with my hamstring just because the training intensity switched so much. High school, I was just coming there and running, and doing block stuff every now and then. But that we ran fast. But training was different, and my body was kind of breaking down just because of stuff they were put me through. Just wasn't stuff. And I came into the meet sore, and I didn't decel right after the 60. It wasn't enough space, and I felt it tug a bit, and I was like, damn. But we got to go home for winter break, so I got to take care of that. Started training better, came back. I was healthy the rest of the season. I was cupping. I was getting cupping therapy. I was getting stem. I was getting massages, hot packs, like contrast icing. I was in the trainers every day, an hour before practice and an hour after. I was just
Right.
putting the work in. Lifting in the morning. I was putting the extra work in it, and nobody was telling me to do it because this was Division III. They're not on you as tough, depending on what teams, what schools they are, but
Right.
particularly track here, we had nice facilities, but they weren't pushing us like they were pushing lacrosse at that school, or like they were pushing basketball and stuff. So I was like, I put it on myself. I was like, I'm gonna just hold myself to a different standard because I'm not gonna be one of these kids, regardless of what they're getting. I'm not gonna be here next year.
And that's
And
even at D1, you don't want to let just
yeah, you never
like,
want
all
to.
right, I reached D1, like I'm good, whatever, I'll just go about my day. Like
You
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 still
have to
you still have to push yourself.
you have to find that line between not doing too much and not underwork. But you can't push like I was pushing myself into the ground a little bit. So I started taking recovery serious. So I'm healthy the rest of that year, right? I get into COVID, right? So right around the time I was committing, a couple weeks before, like about a month and a half before that, I was hurt for the beginning of COVID. I had a peroneal tendonitis in my right foot, and it was frustrating. It was just because of I switched from running on this nice collegiate track. I was spoiled with the track, facilities and stuff, and then I come and I'm running on this like beat, like middle school track, high school track,
Yeah.
like beat high school's track, and I needed to replace my shoes, but I just kept pushing it off. And like we beat our shoes into the ground. Like we have to get new shoes constantly. That's a tip. Get new shoes like very often. Um, got hurt, got through that. I started doing compression and icing and
Yeah.
stuff. But then I got obviously the one I want to talk about is I got into this school year. Um, I was doing a workout that I shouldn't have been doing. I didn't want to listen. I was being hard headed. I was transitioning from like my off season, and I got to school and I wanted to finish this one last workout. I was kind of sore. I was sprinting the straight hard as I can when I shouldn't have been. I shouldn't have been going 100% at all. I did. I was like, let me just go 100% this one time, right? And my hamstring just completely, it felt like it exploded. It
Yeah.
popped. I was on the inside lane towards the metal railing. I fell off the metal railing. Like I couldn't walk,
Yeah.
and it was so painful. And then it took a solid amount of time to get back from. And I remember you were there, and I started getting back, and I would start doing little things. But I was like, yeah, you saw how hard I was in the trainers. Like I was relentless with rehab. Like as soon as I could start rehabbing,
It was constantly.
yeah.
So,
I was there, and then I was coming to practice regardless if I could run or not. I was in there 3 hours sometimes, like 2 hours just in there, learning about what I had done. And then it started getting to more intense stuff. I started doing a lot of Nordics, like Nordic hamstring curls, and those are what I feel like got me way stronger in my hamstrings. And then I got back to the track, and the mental part, like I remember I was with you. I was like, man, I don't know what it is, but like I can't, I was like, did I forget how to run? Like I was like, I don't know if I'll ever be the same. And I was like, I was like, I can't like let myself go. And then you were like, I was like, I'm scared to get hurt again, man. Like, and you were like, can I go get injured again? Like I went through the same thing. And like, my leg was so wrapped up. My leg was like wrapped up and ice all the time after practices. And I had like compression on during practice. My leg was like completely covered and stuff, and I was like, man, like look at me right now. And then I started looking at it from like a different angle because I was getting really down on myself, and it was the beginning of
Yeah.
getting in school. I didn't have a whole lot of friends, and then you came in and it helped. But it was hard being in a new place,
Hmm.
adjusting to like this new everything, and being hurt. I had too much time to think, and that was kind of my thing. Like I struggle with being having too much time to think sometimes, and like I need to constantly be going. And but as soon as I started really getting hard into the training, it started pushing me, and then I got back, and I remember the day that it switched. Um, I remember the day that it switched. We we had like I had one day it was Connor, dude. Shout out to Connor. He's the track and field trainer at Mount. He's that guy. But I started sprinting. They were like you're holding back, like you're not. They're like you're not gonna get hurt. Just do it. And I was like, man, like screw it. So I did it, and I like took off and like sprinted 100%. And I was like, I'm not hurting. Like I'm not hurting. And I
Yeah.
remember we did like a workout together. Remember we did like a 200 workout.
Yeah.
What did we
Yeah.
what did we do that day?
It was
And I started like
we did 8 200s because that was a workout that I needed to do, and
yeah
I
yeah
was like, you know what, just hop on with me. We'll try it where we'll go fast for like the first few ones, and then we'll just kind of gradually get into it, just to
yeah
see how you feel. And
yeah.
you were right on with me.
Dude, and I was like there and I started like taking off and I was feeling good. And you were like, slow down. You were like, you may feel good, but like just in case. Like I was like, I
Yeah,
don't want to hold
exactly. Yeah,
back no more. But
you
then I
try
was like,
pushing
all
ahead
right,
on that first one. I was like,
yeah,
you're gonna feel good on that
let
first
me
one,
chill out.
but just
I was like,
relax on it so
and
that
I
you
was like,
don't
let
get
me
hurt.
chill. Yeah. And then we got into workouts, man. And like that's the reason it was so hard to not be there anymore. Cause like, dude, during workouts, I felt good. Like I
Yeah.
was performing good. I was like I had experience obviously from being a sophomore. So I'm helping people out, trying to like keep game and stuff like that. And I was ready, but everything that happened. But
Yeah.
you gotta keep it put. But last thing is tell me, what's your expectations? I mean, I don't know. I think that's kind of overrated to ask expectations on the season, but I'm trying to word it a little different. What do you want out of this season? What are your goals? How do you feel like you prepared for it? And all the everybody asks like the stuff that shows in the light, but I want to know like how's it been like in the dark, like preparing, like like cooking up,
Yeah.
like making sure that you're everything right for the season. Like how did you prepare for this season, and how are you mentally on that, and just like how are you going to transition, and how do you feel like the season's going to go, and also like just kind of give me a rundown on the schedule and stuff like that too,
Yeah.
like how it's going to.
So, yeah, so it was it's been tough because of COVID, we're not really out too much. So this is, my room here is basically where I am 80%
Yeah.
of the time. It's, it's
Yeah.
it's a lot, especially being an athlete. It really goes underappreciated during COVID how it's
Yeah,
like
dude, we used to work out in the living room. We would literally have our gym set up
literally,
in the living
yeah, it was literally my resistance bands, my little roller that I had.
room and
We were doing
pull up
push-ups
bar
off our bed.
and
Literally,
heavy things that we could find. Yeah,
yeah,
like
literally any everything we could find. And
mhm.
it's like I wake up, go to class, go to practice, back in the room. Like go to class, go to practice, grab food, back to the room. And it's just on repeat, on repeat, on repeat, Monday through Sunday. And it's a lot on you mentally. And but it's been, while I'm at practice, I'm taking advantage of what I can get. And we've been training really well. And my goal this year, I'm finally able to do 400 hurdles again for the first time since senior year of high school. So
Crazy.
when I only had 1 year of it, I running 57. That's me with barely any hurdle form and kind of just strictly just running on the 400 and just hoping for the best. But I've been able to get down, in these past 2 years, been able to get down hurdle form, thanks to Coach Jay. He really helped me out with that. And
He cares a lot. Yeah.
yeah, and he knows my potential with that. And he he really helped me out, and we've been doing it a lot recently. And I'm feeling really good. I'm in really good shape right now. And the goal is to at least score some points for us at conferences. I would have been projected going into last outdoor before it was canceled. I was projected to score points at conferences, get top 7. So the goal is to be
Mhm.
able to do that. Maybe with quicker times, I can get top 5 at the conference. try and run around like 54 seconds. See, hopefully with more strength and being that I have somewhat of a hurdle form down now, which is still improving. But for what I have now, it's hopefully I can do that, get sub 50 in the 4. And just hopefully win it. The ultimate goal is to win a team championship.
Yeah.
That's what our goal is. We've been working so hard for it. The preseason projections is for us again to win an outdoor. So
Yeah.
that's what our goal is. We've been, every single one of us on this team, top to bottom, in all the events. We've all been working our butts off for it. We've been really working really hard for it, and we know what we can do. We know our potential, and if we could just just reach into it, we'll be able. The world's at our hands. But yeah, our season starts in a week and a half at Coastal, and then we go back to Coastal the next weekend. We were supposed to go to NC State, but just because of COVID and all that stuff, we weren't able to. So we go to Coastal back-to-back weekends. Then I have 2 weeks off. One because of Easter, and then the other one we were supposed to go to Penn Relays because of again COVID. We weren't able to.
Yeah, man, that one's crazy.
It sucks, being that I was supposed to run possibly a 4x4 at Penn Relays. It's a killer because I'd done that in high school, but to be able to being in high school, seeing the college kids do it, you're like, I want to be that one day, and
Yeah, man.
But hopefully next year we'll be able to do that, but so then we have 2 weeks off. Then I go to George Mason. And then if I want a little bit of better of a sea time for the 400 hurdles, or if I'm just, maybe just want to grab an extra race and go to St. Francis, PA towards the end of April. And then a week later is conferences at Bryan up in Rhode Island the first week of May. That's hopefully where everything culminates. And I just, I'm able to, I guess, pop off there and get 400 hurdles, 4x4 and, get some stuff done. But yeah, it's about like 6-7 meets maybe around there, I think.
Yeah.
Hopefully, hope for the best.
Yeah, man, I'm definitely excited to keep up with you, and I can't wait for the off season so I can like work with you and stuff, and get like film out, and be able to like get you down here and stuff, and we can work, and just overall, it'll be fun, and just a good vibe overall. Yeah, man.
Yeah, for sure.
But definitely gonna keep up with you this season and everything, man. We're just not talking right now. Like we're bros, man. We talk.
Yeah.
We talk all the time. So yeah, exactly. But thank you for talking to me, and I think it helped. And if you guys want to like see us do this again, or anybody wants to see us do it again, or we might just do it again regardless, just because it's fun to be able to talk. We gonna talk anyway, so you might as well put a camera in front of us. But it was definitely good talking to you.
Yeah, and if anyone wants to reach out to me, you can put my IG down or whatever.
They
can DM me. Ask me anything.
Mm-hmm.
I'm always on my phone, so I have plenty of free time to be on my phone, so you guys can ask questions or whatever, and I could just help you guys out. So.
Yep, I'll plug everything for you.
Gotcha. Yeah. Awesome.